Friday, Israel did announce it will now allow local merchants to bring in goods, including baby food, produce, and hygiene supplies. Israel says it will monitor the goods and purchases that are taken in so that they don't benefit Hamas. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee was in Gaza with White House envoy Steve Witkoff just days ago to see the crisis for himself. I spoke to him a short time ago. Ambassador, the local director of the World Food Program in Gaza said, quote, "I have worked in some of the harshest places you can imagine. I have never, ever seen this kind of starvation in my whole career." You were just at one of the 4 aid distribution sites. What did you see?
I saw a very different picture. Certainly the GHF mechanism of getting food to people, it's not perfect, but it's working. And it's working because when the president ordered us to stand up a humanitarian program, there were 2 requirements. 1, get food to the people who are hungry, but 2, make sure that it's not in a delivery method that Hamas can steal it. That's been one of the big problems. The food is there, it's not getting in. And when it does get in, even by the UN's own assessment of it, 87% of it is stolen, looted, or taken directly off the trucks in what the UN has euphemistically called self-distribution. So there is a problem. But I do believe that there's an enormous amount of food going in, but Hamas is stealing the largest portion of it and then trying to sell it to the people who are hungry. It's a disaster.
Well, President Trump says there is, quote, real starvation happening in Gaza. Do you see real starvation?
I think there is certainly hunger and deprivation and possibly starvation, particularly in the northern parts of Hamas that are controlled, or the northern parts of Gaza controlled by Hamas. That's where the problem is. I don't understand why so many world leaders and countries are putting all the pressure on Israel, who is pouring tons of food into the system, tons of food into Gaza. But when it's stolen and looted, and then it's put in warehouses by Hamas to be resold, they made over $500 million last year selling stolen food. And what do they do with that? They use it to kill people.
An internal U.S. government assessment says only a very small percentage of that food is being stolen by Hamas. The UN says it is not 87%, as you just cited, but much, much lower. Right now, the food is being distributed by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. It's a group led by a friend of yours. Critics say the setup is unduly chaotic and dangerous. People must walk many miles through military lines to get there. They're being trampled in the rush and the crush of the crowds.
Simply not true. And by the way, that 87% figure I gave, that was from the UNOPS, their own operation that gave that number. I didn't make it up out of thin air. So the UN needs to get together with themselves as to what the real number is. But when I was there last Friday, I saw with my own eyes trucks coming in from the UN food source, and I saw people getting on top of them with rifles, taking over the trucks, stealing the food. So I don't know what they're looking at. They're looking at something different than I saw with my own eyes.
Well, President Trump met last night with Steve Witkoff. They reportedly decided that the United States would now take the lead role in getting food into Gaza. The amount of food may be tons and tons of food, but it is a small fraction of what is needed for 2 million people. Do you know anything about this plan for the U.S. to take the lead or how that might work?
Well, Elizabeth, the U.S. is taking the lead. GHF is a U.S.-operated endeavor. And so when people say the U.S. ought to be doing something, it has been doing something. It served over 106 million meals in 2 months. And despite some reports that say that people are being injured and horribly treated, it's simply not the case. There have been hiccups. There have been difficulties. But the idea that there's mass shootings or that a lot of people are being trampled, it's simply not the case. And most of the information that says that comes from the Gaza Health Ministry, which is, of course,
video. We're looking at.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.